This video is about the functionality and qualities of the combat system in Dragon's Dogma. I will go over the layout of the controls and how Dragon's Dogma uses it to create fluid, intuitive and involved combat. As example, I will first present a fighter class. Then I will change over to an archer class to show how this is made interesting for bow and arrow. Mage classes are not included in this since I have too little experience with those yet. This is the fighter class, which fights with sword and board. We start with the standard moves of this class. The light attack can be chained to a 3-hit combo. The upgraded light attack can be used with a delayed 2-hit combo. Delayed means to leave a slightly longer pause between button presses. The standard heavy attack is not a combo attack and slower, for more damage and a chance to stagger enemies. The upgraded heavy attack adds a shield bash to the thrust and is being activated with a held button press. These base attacks do not use stamina to keep combat flowing. The standard abilities of the shield provide a block as well as a counter for well-timed blocks, opening up enemies for follow-up attacks. However, from the shield stance, the combat system offers 3 additional skill slots for attacks in use with the shield. The change in available attack patterns is visible in the lower right corner. In this case, I chose to equip a frontal protected stab, a taunt and a strong but slow shield bash. These attacks use a good chunk of the stamina bar. 3 more skill slots are available for attacks in use with the sword. In this case, I chose a sprint attack to close the distance to enemies, an evasive white attack, and an attack against targets above the character. A fair few of these attacks can be additionally upgraded, like the base light and heavy attack, to add more functionality. And as mentioned before, are these just a few of the skills that are overall available for either the shield or the sword. What I forgot to mention is that both base attacks, light and heavy, also have jump attacks available. This system theoretically allows the fighter to have 10 attacks at hand, 8 of which can have further upgrades in form of timing-based combos or functionality. More importantly, the system allows the use of the attacks more from intuition and muscle memory. Instead of cooldown based combat, where the player waits till their better attacks are available again to clean house, situational awareness and skill become king and immerse the player much more than when one eye always hovers over the toolbar, instead on the world and enemies before them. Limiting the attacks that are available to the player in combat also forces them to choose more deliberately how they want to play. Limiting the player in the places that they can make these changes at also elevates the interaction with the world. With that, I don't mean necessarily that a change in equipment only can be made in a town, tavern or similar places. Simply requiring the player to use a self-placed camp, for example, to refresh, re-equip and rest would grow the connection with the game world and the decisions they make in it. Instead of exchanging symbols in the equipment menu, the act of changing skills would become a more important, deliberate act that happens in the world.
Don't allow them to swarm.
Next I will change to an archer class and demonstrate what I feel is some of the best archer combat in the action RPG genre. Just like with the fighter class, the Strider has upgradable basic, light and heavy attacks. The combo for these is also the same across classes. This allows the player to focus on the utility, what the skills are actually good for, instead having to relearn new combos all over again.
A bird, perhaps?
Like the shield, the bow has a base use, the normal firing of arrows.
A bird, perhaps? We cannot allow it.
In the same vein, the bow offers 3 skill slots for additional attack patterns. What I'm showing here is the following: an area of effect attack that is aimed via a target line. Upgraded versions cover a greater area. An attack that fires a volley of 3 arrows.
Strength in numbers have risen. Our strength brought us victory.
An extra strong quasi-sniper attack that needs to be charged. See the charge bar next to the button prompt. For the Dagger, I show a quick dash attack, a juggle into the air with a black powder explosion as follow-up.
Very well. You have them all. Get them.
And finally a flurry of very fast cuts followed by a high kick. This sort of concludes my plaidoyer for the combat system of Dragon's Dogma. After this I have placed a few interesting battles to show the use of these abilities in one flow. To show the wonderful and reactive action in full chaos and in one case against a minor miniboss.
This looks interesting.
What's this?
Take extra care of this narrow Did it!
Are you all right, Master?
Goblin! I know what to do.
Dwarves!
He's far stronger than a common goblin. Destroy them all. I shall find it. This
that?
Then maybe you're here. Very well.
On my way!
Careful! Stop it! This ends it! I've learned a new technique. Steal upon it!
I'll take the lead. What's that? Knock it to the ground, and its shield is useless.
Casting stones! End him! He's far stronger than a common goblin.
Goblins hate fire.
I'll blind him!
Strength in numbers of this.
We have triumphed.
Keep an eye turned to the shadows.
Hobgoblin! 'Tis a formidable foe. I'll go at once. I obey.
Very well.
Very well. This ends it! Blind them! Steal upon it!
I will protect you with his...
Watch for ranged attacks! All is darkness.
take that.